This will be quick. There's just not a lot of people out there. I mean, I don't want to lie to you and be like, you should pick up this guy or that guy. No, I want y'all to actually pick up people that may help your fantasy football team in the long run. And to be honest, there's not a lot of good options out there on the waiver wire. But without further ado, this is the Waiver Wire Pickup Show. And I am... What's crack-a-lack? It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know, so go ahead, leave me a thumbs up if you enjoy the content, and subscribe, become a bro, and do that. It's much appreciated. Much obliged. I got a 7-round mock draft coming out this Thursday. That is the date I'm hoping. If not, it'll be out Friday, but it's probably going to be Thursday. I got a lot of work ahead of me. Got to record it, but I also got to do all the graphics. Not the graphics, but the updated graphics as I go on, and, you know, pick by pick and do it and doing and doing. It's just going to be a crazy, fun, wild ride. Let's talk about waiver wire, guys. And I'm going to start with quarterbacks. Quarterback Sam Darnold, I think after how he played against a very good secondary there for the Cowboys, yeah, he's owned in less than 8% of leagues. Go and grab him if anything. Don't start him this week against that New England defense, but he's a good option for the future. You could at least hold on to him, kind of go and wait and see how he does. Another guy, Jacoby Brissett. I know these next two guys, they're only available in, what, 50% of leagues, but that's my criteria for this. If they are under 50% owned, I put them on the list. Jacoby Brissett deserves to be on the list, mainly because look at his matchup, man. He's got to face Miami, he's got Pittsburgh, and then he's got Houston twice in the future. That's a good stat line, man. He should produce in all of those games. So that's 4 starter-worthy games for him coming up. He's scored no less than 20 in every game but one, that Kansas City game, and that was kind of a weird game script where Chris Jones went out for the Chiefs, and they just started running the ball down the Chiefs' throat, and they decided that they were gonna win the war of possession, and they did. So it was kind of a weird, wonky game script in that game. Josh Allen, I've been praising Josh Allen this whole year. He is very elusive. He's a very good runner. So he gives you that upside as far as a fantasy starter. And then just looking at his next matchups, Miami, Philly, Washington, Cleveland, Miami. 5 games. I say he's startable in 4 of those. So go out and get yourself Josh Allen, man. Let's go to running backs. Not a lot to talk about here. Jamal Williams, he's available in 25.8% of leagues. Aaron Jones, he kind of struggled after an early fumble and then a drop touchdown. It became the Jamal Williams show, and he produced very well. It really sucks for Aaron Jones owners, but I think this guy he should be rostered. He should be rostered with, honestly, at this point, you could project him just as much as Aaron Jones as far as like similar point totals, because it looks like it might be a split committee from here on out. Or maybe they'll just ride Jones until he's not the hot hand. Maybe they're just riding the hot hand. But yeah, I think he's worth a shot. I won't start him right away, but a couple of guys I would also stash on the bench. I talked about him last week. Chase Edmonds with David Johnson dealing with that back issue. You don't know how long that may linger. Chase Edmonds, who has been actually pretty good by himself, now has that potential starter, or can be a potential starter if David Johnson were to go out. So high upside there. And then Alexander Madison came in, played a lot of snaps actually against the Eagles, and looked very, very good. Looked very good. But Dalvin Cook, he was kind of banged up last year. So again, it's a really guy you're just gonna stash on your bench, and I don't want to say hope for the guy in front of him to get hurt. That's such a messed up thing to say, but you use him as a bit of, hey, maybe later. Wide receivers, again, not a lot. Cole Beasley though, I've been praising Cole Beasley all year. I don't know why I'm stuck on all these Bills players for fantasy, but I think Cole Beasley's a great PPR machine. He's really only had 2 so-so games, and I already talked about the favorable matchups coming up with Miami, Philly, Washington, Cleveland, Miami. Those are all favorable matchups, so he is a good flex option for the future. Now, these next guys are kind of shots in the dark. I got Tavon Austin. Woo, there we go. Tevin Coleman. What's he doing out on the waiver wire? Snag him. Tavon Austin, man. If Amari Cooper is out for an extended period, and I don't think we'll really know that till a little bit later this week, but I think Tavon Austin's worth picking up just to kind of wait and see maybe. And I mean, he looked very good last week, and then they got a good matchup against Philly this coming week. So if Amari Cooper is out, Tavon Austin sees an uptick. I mean, Philly, look what Kirk Cousins did to him. They need to throw the ball to someone. Michael Gallup was out there dropping passes. Tavon Austin was probably the most sure-handed receiver in that game for Dallas. So just another guy with potential upside. Allen Lazard. That's a pretty dope name. But if Devontae Adams is still out, this guy, and I mean, they had other injuries. Geronimo went down with, I think, maybe a concussion. I don't know. It was a pretty scary hit. MVS was kind of, he's been beat up, and he was beat up in that game last night. And this is the thing for me. This is what seals Allen Lazard as a really potentially good pickup. Is they have a decently tough schedule coming up, and really Aaron Rodgers only plays, like, he only puts up really good numbers in those tough matchups, because outside of that they just run the ball. Aaron Jones, or now Jamal Williams. But I think he's worth a pickup, especially if Devontae Adams is going to be still out. He shined last night hardcore, and it was Aaron Rodgers actually was the one endorsing him. Hey, put this guy in the game. Put this guy in the game. And he went to him twice on that flyer, that post route into the end zone. Missed the first time, went back the next play and got it. So I'm just saying, very interesting name there if you're struggling at a receiver. And then tight ends. Darren Fells, man. Alright, man, I give up, Darren Fells. You're not a bad starting tight end, I guess. Or at least you're a quality fantasy starter. The guy I thought was touchdown dependent. He's been a great red zone target for Deshaun Watson, but he just had 9 receptions this past game. He's only owned in less than 3% of leagues. He's not a bad pickup, especially if you're struggling, or if, unfortunately, you are a Will Disley owner, because that really sucks. But speaking of those Will Disley owners, you could try to pick up Luke Wilson. He didn't look great after Disley had to leave the game. And I mean, Luke Wilson played for a majority of the whole game, and he still came up with only 2 points in half PPR leagues. Wasn't that impressive. I think with Disley, is like Wilson really had a connection with Disley. Doesn't have that with Wilson. So honestly, I would rather take Fells at this point than Wilson, but it is what it is. That's it for the video. Go ahead and do the YouTube thing. Much appreciated, much obliged, and be on the look for the 7-round NFL mock draft I got coming out at the end of this week. But till next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.